Hello students, in this video we will discuss Newton's second law of motion. We have done Newton's first law and here we will discuss Newton's second law of motion. In the first video, we saw that the force, an applied unbalanced force, can change the velocity of a moving object. But we did not discuss about the amount of force. The first law of Newton's first law of motion, it did not explain the amount of force which is applied. It does not quantify the force or the velocity. It has been done in the second law of motion. So, second law of motion is about the quantity or amount of unbalanced force applied on a moving object. We can know how much force is applied. So, this is about the second law of motion. But before we discuss the second law, we should learn about a special term in physics known as momentum. So, we should know what is momentum in physics, because second law of motion, it is dependent upon the momentum. Now, this momentum, it is symbolized by small p and the formula is P is equal to m into v, where m is mass and v is velocity. So, the SI unit should be of mass kg, of velocity meter per second. That is, the SI unit of momentum P should be kilogram meter per second, and this is the formula for P. One thing came into our mind, why this momentum which start from m is denoted by P. It is because a long story, a old historical fact, that m it is taken for mass. So we cannot take m for momentum. So a Latin word is there known as patre, which means impetus or momentum. So this P is taken as a symbol for momentum. It is just a story, just a fact. So this is how momentum is described. P is equal to m into v. It means it is the product of mass and velocity of an object. Both are needed to produce momentum. In fact, what is momentum? Momentum is a type of power. It is not exactly the power, but a power of a moving body by which it can impact the other object. How much force it can put on the other object. So this is momentum. The momentum is there in a moving body of certain mass. Everything has somewhat mass. So any moving body with certain mass has momentum. Suppose a car is going. So car has a momentum. It is moving and it has certain mass. So this momentum can be explained on simple everyday practical aspects. How? We will explain by one or two activities. So it is, suppose we take two balls. One is table tennis ball and other is a cricket ball. These two balls were taken. The mass of table tennis is about 3 grams or less than 3 grams. So suppose it is 3 grams. The mass of table tennis ball. And cricket ball is quite heavy. I think it is 160 grams. Suppose these two balls were thrown with a uniform velocity towards a boy. This boy is standing here, and these two balls, they were thrown with almost equal velocity. What do you think? Can these two will hurt the boy in the same manner? No. This ball will hurt the ball very slightly or negligibly. But this cricket ball with the same velocity will hurt this boy quite much. He will get hurt by this cricket ball. Why this is so? Well, the velocities are same because it is having more mass. So it is having more momentum. It is moving. So due to more mass, this cricket ball has more momentum. So the force will be more and the boy gets hurt. While the table tennis ball has less mass and less momentum, so there is no hurt to the boy. Secondly, we can explain in another manner. Suppose we took two cricket balls. Both are of same mass. Suppose 160 grams and 160 grams. Both are of same mass. But now we throw these balls, one with a lesser velocity and one with a higher velocity. We throw them faster. This ball thrown faster, this ball thrown softly with less velocity, and they will hit the boy. What do you think? This with higher velocity, this boy will get hurt more than this ball which is thrown softly with less velocity. Why? The mass of both the balls are same, but the velocity is different. Due to more velocity, this ball has more momentum. Due to less velocity, this ball has less momentum. So the degree of hurt is more here due to more momentum, and it is less here due to less momentum. So this is how, because momentum is the product of mass and velocity. If both are increased, it is increased. If it is double, it is double. If it is double, it is double. Both are less, then momentum will be less. It is a product of mass and velocity. As mass cannot be zero, velocity can be zero, so momentum can be zero of a resting object. A resting object has no momentum because this momentum, as we have just discussed, is the power of a moving object. If there is no V, then M will be there, but momentum will be zero. So this is how we explain this momentum. Now we can take certain other examples also, like a very famous example of a bullet which is being shot by a gun. So though the mass of this bullet is very less, about 10 gram or it may be 20 gram, and mass of gun is more, but the mass of bullet is very less, but it is coming to the person with great velocity. The velocity is so high that this bullet can injure this person, or even death can be caused. So a very low mass but a high velocity can affect the person because the momentum of this moving bullet is very much high. Likewise, we can take other examples. Suppose a truck is there standing on the road and its mass is very much, about suppose 6 tons, and it is standing on the road. So can it cause any accident or something? No, it cannot, because it is at rest. It is not moving. When it is not moving, its momentum will be zero. velocity is 0, so momentum is 0. It cannot cause any accident, though it has a high mass. But suppose it starts moving with a low velocity. Suppose 5 meters per second, very slow speed, it starts moving. Then it can cause a serious accident. Why? Because already the mass is very much, and a slow velocity also can cause a high momentum. So now this moving truck will have a high momentum and it can cause serious accidents. So this is about, we explain the term momentum. Now how this momentum is related to this law? How? We know that V, velocity, is increased by force. If external force, unbalanced force is applied, then this force increases the velocity. There is a change in velocity. It may increase or it may decrease, but there is a change in velocity. Higher the force, higher the change. So the force can cause change in velocity, and momentum is equal to m into v. It means indirectly the force can cause a change in momentum. This is how this momentum and law of motion, second law of motion, they are related. Are you understanding what I am saying? This force can change the velocity, so this force can also change momentum, because P is equal to mv. When force can change momentum, it means this force is related to second law of motion. Now we will see the definition of Newton's second law, how momentum and force are related with Newton's second law. These are, we can write the definition here. The definition is, that is rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the force applied on the body, on the object, in the direction of motion. What does it mean? Rate of change of momentum of an object is directly proportional to the force applied on the object in the direction of the motion. When we are talking about direction, it means momentum is vector quantity. That is, it has both magnitude and direction. This is one thing, and we know the SI unit of momentum. Second, it is a vector quantity. Now, what does it mean? Rate of change of, what this definition means? It means, suppose an object is there, the mass of that object is m. Initial velocity of that object is u. Final velocity of that object is v. Force F is applied on the object to change the velocity from u to v for time t. Time is t. So a force F is applied on this object of mass m to change its velocity from u to v for time t. These parameters are given. Now, what will be the momentum of this object? The momentum P1. There will be two momenta, one with initial velocity, one with final velocity. So initial velocity may be 0 or it may have some value, but this final is more than the u. So P1 or the first momentum will be m into u. U is the initial velocity. The mass is common. The object is 1. So mass is constant, is common for both the velocities. So this is P1 or the first momentum will be m into u. The second momentum P2 will be m into v, because this is the final velocity. So what we are writing, rate of change of momentum. It means change. What is the change of momentum? We can write change of momentum will be mv minus mu. This is the final, this is the initial. So the change of momentum will be mv minus mu. And what is the rate of change of momentum? Rate of change of momentum will be mv minus mu upon t. You know, when we use this term rate, it means that time should be in denominator, per unit time. That this change is caused in time t. So when we use the term t, always we write t in denominator. So rate of change of momentum is this. It is equal to, or first it is proportional to the F, force applied. So now we know this is proportional to F. Now we will write, we have to derive a formula for second law of motion, and this magic formula is F is equal to ma. And we will use this formula in all the numericals based on second law or even first and third law. In fact, the second law of Newton is the important one, and first and third, they are based on this second law. If we understand this second law, then first and third will be in our pocket. Then we can understand all the three. So by this we have to derive this formula of force, where we can measure force. What is second law? By second law, we can measure the amount of force or quantity of force. We can quantify force. Now we can know how much force is needed for an object of mass m to accelerate to a certain point. So we will derive this from this. So this is, now we know F is equal to mv minus mu upon t. Up to here, clear to all of you? Not equal, proportional, directly proportional. Or we can take m as common, v minus u upon t. F is proportional to, we know this v minus u upon t is, what is this? This quantity is equal to acceleration. So F will be ma. All of you know v minus u upon t, rate of change of velocity, is equal to acceleration. We have studied it in the chapter of motion also. So this is proportional to ma. Now we want to eliminate this this proportionality sign. So we multiply it by a constant of equality, and this constant k has value 1. So when this k has, this is a constant of equality and this has value 1. So F will be m into a or ma, and its unit, the SI unit of F, all of you know, is Newton or N, and by this formula the other unit may be kg and meter per second square. Kg, meter per second, acceleration meter per second square. So the other unit is kg meter per second square and the SI unit is N or Newton. So by this formula, now we can know how much force is applied. We know the amount or quantity of force. So this is the second law of motion which is dependent upon this momentum. Now in numericals, we can use all the three formula to calculate this force. One is F is equal to ma, second is F is equal to mv minus u upon a. This is also used, and third is F is equal to P2 minus P1 upon T. All these three can be used in numericals to calculate this force. So this is the second law of motion, and in day-to-day life we have many examples where this law of motion is described. So we will do some examples in the next video. This is all for this video. Thank you.